is the stars aligning for this game, for them to get on the board, to keep their world's dreams alive.
Into the game we go. This could be the game where we see Beyond Gaming overtake PSG and punch their second ticket in a row all the way to America to attend Worlds. It would be an incredible journey after switching so many players to still make it here. But first, they have to close out the job. They have to finish the job, excuse me. We are going to be taking a look at the level 1s. PSG has been known for a lot of cheeky shenanigans, especially into the side lane brushes. Not going to happen this time. And taking a look at the summoners here, we have some different choices. We're going to go for the Conquerors on Leakai. And I like this, a more aggressive build onto Gory with the Electrocute.
Going for the Electrocute. Minji going for the Cleanse. Understanding that they're taking a much more passive approach here. And with the Unsealed Spellbook, we'll still be able to get access to that teleport occasionally. So definitely like that change coming in from Minji. And PSG, they understand backs against the wall. We have to be more playmaking here. Also helps that they aren't up against the Lissandra, where Gory may need the extra summoner utility.
Just trying to stay alive in the laning phase here. Early on, Hanabi getting a lot of mileage against Leakai. Some very nice dodging back and forth into minion wave, and Gory taking it to Minji early on, going past the minion wave, but actually comes out a little bit worse in that trade here. As he did take quite a bit of damage from those ranged minions in the later side. Taking a look at the jungle situation, we did have a leash coming in from Beyond Gaming, and both of the junglers will be heading towards the top side. After a while here, I think a little bit more gank pressure onto the game flank.
And for the side of PSG, we see in that mid lane, there's a difference in itemization, also in that top side, right? It is the Doran's item against the sustain builds coming in from the Corrupting Potion. A thing that has changed, of course, Corrupting Potion did get nerfed on, I believe, this patch. So sustain going to come down just a little bit, but still, you do want to continue to take these trades when you have that sustain advantage and just be able to reset and constantly refill your Corrupting Potion stats.
Gory up to his old tricks right here, trying to get a bit of damage onto Husha, but Husha actually wins a bit of the trade, loses his Raptors for it though, and it seems like they're actually quite even, all things considered. Bury with the red buff going to get most of that HP back, and he's just not letting Husha do anything right here. A very smart play coming in from the top.
Very similar opening that we saw in game number 2, right? Where he was able to get the invade and track Husha early on, get the top crab. But again, once more for the side of BYG, they answer back by being able to secure the bottom crab for themselves, and Wako will get a big stack of gold in his hands there. So very similar starts to what we saw in game number 2, as Husha will clear out that ward and also just threaten with his presence up top side.
We have to remember a big part about the last game was Beyond Gaming were able to win the 4v4 in the bottom side. They did not allow Hanabi to join in much of the action, but this time it's not up to them. You can't stop a Cannon Barrage from coming down the top lane, so another reason to love the game flank selection right here. And across the lanes, we are seeing small advantages being acquired by PSG. You know, this is kind of PSG's biggest weak spot, is they're not a very strong laning team, especially in the postseason. Actually a negative 1k at 14 before this series. So, you know, this is typically the kind of the typical tempo of Beyond Gaming, where you do start out rather slow, you get shoved in, but then when it comes to team fights, it's where they start to shine.
Yeah, and they've been able to make up these gold differentials by being decisive. We've seen it in games 1 and 2. When Husha sees an opening, he will just pull the trigger. And on a champion like Wukong, who has such strong early team fight potential, that's really what drives the car.
Wuxian misses the ward there. A little bit unfortunate. So this is going to be a decided information advantage on the side. And the charm lands here. Bury going to find the target onto Minji. Flashes forward, but actually taking out of range for the knockback onto Minji. Both sides are going to walk away just okay, but definitely a flash advantage for the side of PSG. That ward is so vexing.
Yeah, just perfect placement there. Dodges out on the sweeper. Now Husha has the level of advantage, but
Gory going in with the ultimate. Husha might have to flash this one. Is he going to have the chance? Nope. First blood for Gory. Goes across 2 walls to snag that one up.
And this time around, Clement, it's PSG that draw first blood in the game. It goes on to Gory, unanswered. And hopefully now, with this advantage, they will start to be able to get Gory and more involved in this game. Already has a CS lead in that mid lane. We'll get to see the replay on how this happens. Hex Flash comes in, gets a good angle. Really well played from Bury. And then Gory, of course, on the Ahri. It doesn't matter how far away the play is being made because he has 3 dashes in the flash.
Yeah, really nice positioning on the side of Bury. You know, he cuts off the potential clone over the wall path for Husha. Gets in front of him, so the knockback's always there. Good first blood being taken right there. And I just heard you ooh, but can you share what the ooh is about?
It's because we're going to, for sure, get a combat soul.
Ooh.
It will be the next dragon of Cloud or Ocean. So, should be a lot of explosive mid-game fights, as it will be a lot of contesting. And also, for the side of PSG, it does bring them a little bit of relief, right? Because while they would like to get the second dragon, it's not imperative for them to do so. And they can give it up and just allow that extra scaling to then kick in.
Very common tactic we see all across the leagues these days is, well, if it's not an Infernal, it's not a Hex deck, I can let it sit. You know, you can have this one. I prefer 3 good Drakes over getting a Clown Drake. So definitely happening a lot these days, and definitely something to be ooh about. Now, PSG are moving closer to that Herald timer, and I do want to ask you, how do you see this one playing out? Which side is likely going to transition towards that Herald a little bit sooner?
I think it really just comes down to how comfortable PSG are around fighting this objective. Because I'd love for them to get more gold into Gory, or just into their soul laners in general. And their strategy, for the most part, has been to hard funnel gold into Gory as much as possible. Even on the Galio, right? He was the one sitting on the side.
Usha gets stunned up here. Gory looking for the same play. He does have the Spirit Dash. Goes in, Cannon Barrage is through. There's fights on both sides happening right here, and both of it looks like PSG is coming out on top. Leakai gonna go down. That's a double kill. Still looking for the third one. Can he land the charm? He's got the blue buff ticket to cool down 8
got
wall
the red
right
buff
there. Oh, there's a lot of damage with the auto attacks, and he finds the triple. Huge win for PSG. Best early game of this series.
Now they get that Herald along with 3 kills onto Gory. You know, 9 minutes in, this game might already be a wrap, Clemens. This is a 9-minute Everfrost. There is no escape coming in from Gory. He can just keep dashing in because they don't have the damage to turn onto Gory. And that means he will most likely just time and time again get easy pickoffs and CC chains with that Everfrost. So we'll see the replay. Husha, this time around, PSG are doing a good job on punishing Husha for being so aggressive, right? They're constantly picking him off. And with the extra double buffs, then Gory, all he has to do is just auto attack. doesn't have to do a whole lot against Minji. He can just keep autoing, applying that slow, applying that true damage, and eventually chip him down.
Okay, so surely there's no way that Beyond Game will come back in this one, right? I'm trying to... Yeah, I know we've said this a couple times before, but this time it really feels kind of out of reach. I mean, 4 kills all on Gory, that's the best kill allocation that anyone could hope for. You know, I want to see how much gold he actually has. He's already sitting on a 400 bounty. And to make matters a little bit worse, Minji is on the tier build, so he's kind of eyeing the late game track.
Tier build. Good lane sustain, but okay, Leakai actually dying in the 1v1.
Yeah, he needs to find some HP back. Oh, whoa, never mind. Leakai turns it around, and he says thank you very much.
Oh, that was the Aatrox buffs in action there.
Gory gets knocked back here. He's got a lot of bounty gold on him. He's got to run. Everfrost goes back.
He goes in?
What?
No way! Oh my lord.
Ignite goes through, but he's going to be fine. Well calculated. But scary.
I'm not sure if that was well calculated because he almost just gifted 700 gold back into the pockets of BYT. Thankfully, still stays alive, but Hanabi does not stay alive, and that was a remarkable turn. Of course, the buffs for Aatrox gets a lot more HP, it gets a lot more sustain, and you see it in action here. It hits the sweet spot, the last sweet spot, of course, the most important one. Whiffs, and then
bam. Boom. That's all you needed to land anyway, so well done there by Leakai. Actually gets the mid sooner. What is that damage? Gory.
Gory is very, very strong. Gets a ton of more plates into himself as well. And PSG, they'll turn their attention over to the second dragon. Of course, have a huge advantage in the mid lane. So, of course, side of BYG forced to pull off of that, trying to contest it. And fortunately, it's going to be Mountain. So, not the extra fireworks we would have liked to see from an Inferno or a Hex Tech, but it's still a very relevant stat dragon.
Absolutely here, as taking a look across the board. Honestly, Beyond Gaming can't find any fights here, and we haven't seen a Weaver's Wall nearly 13 minutes into the game, and I guess that's the question for me, is like, where does Beyond Gaming strike? We know the scaling is in PSG's favor. How can they actually pull the trigger in this situation?
Yeah, it's going to come down to the roam timings coming in from Husha and Kino, trying to attack some of these other lanes. Maybe they get an invade and try and pick off Bury in his own jungle. It's going to take some creative playmaking, and we know that these two players can find those angles. It's just really difficult for Minji to create his own play right now because of the lane advantage currently held by this Ahri pick. If he tries to go into one of these side lanes and Gory happens to catch him out on the side, he will for sure die. Or if Gory matches the roam, then things will also go south.
We just saw Gory take half HP off of Minji without even landing a charm. So that's the difference right now between these two teams. Gory is essentially a poke jailer. Like, I don't see Beyond Gaming really trying to contest any of these next couple of breaks here. But they do have some interesting developments into the top side. We did see Leakai, constantly shoving in Hanabi. But now Hanabi, with his Triforce coming back into the lane, he has the decided equipment advantage here. And Leakai just has to scurry away. I think we're settling into a bit of a slow game where PSG are almost guaranteed to win some of these fights. And it's up to Beyond Gaming to kind of buck the trend here. I still struggle to see how they'll do it, but I will have some faith, I guess.
And perhaps one of those ways back in is to just leverage around Leakai, right? Because he had a great 1v1 fight, has gone for the Eclipse build. So even though it's the Conqueror, has stuck towards the Eclipse. And if he finds yet another 1v1 kill, that will be problematic for the side of PSG. Minji will likely die unless a Furry doesn't pull the trigger. Honestly, that was probably really free.
Yeah, he still had the flash, so I think I think he would have survived, but would have. Yeah, you're right. I think PSG were just a little bit too afraid of someone in the back line, but at this point, there's not a lot of damage on Beyond Gaming. Even if they can catch people with this rundown composition, it's almost impossible for them to kill anyone. We are going to see Bury start out onto the Herald here. In the meantime, Beyond Gaming looking for a play bot side. We see the pings coming over. Maybe the first Weaver's wall. Looking for that angle coming in from Minji. Gory actually gets found right here. Big chunk of burst damage. And then taken down 800 gold over to Minji. Husha makes it work. And Benny screams in jubilation.
Clement, Husha is just... he's too good. Holy.
Oh, getting over that mountain terrain was just chef kiss.
Yeah. Really, really smooth play coming in from the jungler of Beyond Gaming as once more he's able to get his team, make a play for his team and change some of the dynamics, because if he's constantly hovering this mid lane and is able to punish Gory, that changes quite a bit of the game script. And right now, both of these mid laners are fairly static because of that.
Take a look at Minji's build here. He does have the Luden, so he's going for the full burst potential. He catches the target once, he doesn't have to worry about catching them twice. So we are coming into the mountain break, coming up in 20 seconds right here. Beyond Gaming making a mad dash for this terrain, and in the meantime, we have Gory with the TP going up to collect a tower, so he can still come into this fight. He's still very fed, even with that singular death here. And in comes Gory, so we are going to have an equal situation.
Very early teleport coming in from Gory. I thought for sure he'd like to just finish off that top tower before coming down, but decided that perhaps BYG would just initiate the dragon or start it out without him. So now he's here and he's looking to get that poke damage. He has an extra large rod. That's really the difference here when it comes to the mid lane damage.
Oh, the engage coming through from Kai Wing. Bury going to knock Kino, but he's still here. Gory goes across one. Everfrost onto two. Bury into the backline. So many low HP bars. It looks like PSG are just going to walk across Beyond Gaming. The gold difference, the power difference is very noticeable at this point. Walker's going to try and escape this one, but Levi might not be so lucky. And it is going to be a clean sweep here. 4-0 in favor of PSG.
Gory taking a very good angle there, hiding behind the wall, and because the side of PSG have the gold advantage, BYG, they take a very aggressive posture to try and force a pick before the full fight breaks out. And because of that, Gory is able to punish over the wall. He gets a fantastic play, gets a multi-man Everfrost into a large orb of deception, and the amount of chunk damage coming through just makes the fight almost unplayable. And layer that with the power gangplank, and look, you don't need to wait for specific timings like you would with a Mega Gnar. And Gory, you see him go straight in. The amount of zone control he puts out because of how far ahead he is just demands BYG to fight super scattered.
Yeah, and I think that might have been a mistake for Kino to decide to stay in the fight rather than, just let himself get knocked out and to reset that one. But at the end of the day, huge win for PSG. They're up 7,000 gold almost at this point, and this is not the 30-minute 7,000 gold. This is the 20-minute 7,000 gold lead. So, Beyond Gaming, they've done some pretty crazy stuff, but this would have to be the craziest comeback game if they do pull it off. Just throwing that out there, not saying it's likely or even possible.
Clement, do you remember the first game of this split between these two?
I do remember. Were PSG that far ahead though?
They had a massive scaling composition similar to this one.
I casted that one, and I just said that PSG had a 90 to 10% chance. And then there was a kind of an oopsies from PSG. They just kind of threw away their tank and died. So it's possible, but that would have to, you know, the condition for that is you have to drag it out into a one-team fight game.
And PSG, how long has these game timers been? It's been pretty sizable.
38 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I see your point. I don't think so, though. Like, you know...
It shouldn't.
I like Beyond Gaming, but I trust PSG. I trust them.
Yes. The trust, I think, is well earned from the side of PSG. It's just that they have to be a little bit more decisive. They don't need to be like super in your face with this composition because of how well it scales. But I'd like to see them really attack before the 30-minute mark, right?
Okay.
Try and finish the game with these Baron buffs rather than wait things out and be like, you know what, we could probably win around Dragon Soul or probably win around Elder Dragon. Nah, let's try and put the game away in a more convincing fashion than just that.
All right, we'll see what happens going further into this game, but PSG will have a big fight on their hands before the 30-minute mark because of the Drake stacking situation here. They are going to get one around the 28-minute mark at this point. So Beyond Gaming, if you look across their items, they should be able to close in on their third item, but at that point, PSG will still be very, very far ahead in the itemization game. And we just saw Hanabi deal 800 damage across a minion wave. That does not fill me with confidence at all.
Yeah, and this is with a somewhat low damage build, right? Because he's gone for the Mortal Reminder, which, I mean, yes, you want to cut down the healing, but in general, fairly inefficient item by itself. So he is coming close to that collector, though, and that may help considerably since there isn't a whole lot of armor currently stacked up by Beyond Gaming, and with the natural armor penetration offered by the barrels, if any of these chains, barrel chains do land, it will chunk people out 40% or more.
Yeah, that's gonna be very detrimental to a running composition. The problem with Beyond Gaming is they don't have range and they don't have scaling, so comebacks super hard in these situations. And also, we just haven't seen Weaver walls. Like, if you don't use Weaver wall, Talia's kind of just a worse Orianna, like a much worse Orianna, I would say.
Yeah.
So let's see if they can find some of those opportunities to make some creative plays. We have seen this be actually the strong suit of Minji in some of those fights, and we do have the Drake coming up, taking stock of the situation, about an 8,000 gold advantage to PSG. If Beyond Gaming are going to win, they almost need a pick at some point in this fight.
But because they wait for this dragon to actually respawn, now PSG are able to sort of set up their fight lines.
Ooh, PSG could just go for the fight win rather than the objective too. There's so many ways they could play this.
Yep, a lot of options, because of even if they give up the dragon, as long as they win the fight, they can immediately turn for the Baron or look for an inhib because of that mid-wave shoving in.
Looks like Beyond Gaming are going to take their patience with this one, actually waiting for the barrels to pop through. This is getting really close here. There's a ward that Beyond Gaming don't see, so their flank is actually completely visible to Gory. Gory actually has to go into an early Zhonya's into this one. Bury looking for the Keeper's Verdict, does get Sivir, and the engage is on Husha, the only one left on the other side. He's going to run away from the rest of the team, but Unified trying to chase him down over this one. Husha just going to use the clone and get away. Beyond Gaming successfully reset after getting a flash from Gory and the ultimate from PSG. That's actually a pretty good find all set and done. And Beyond Gaming are going to try and take this one. They're 8,000 gold down. Midget gets caught off on the side, has to instantly cleanse, flash away. He gets charmed up. He's done nothing, and he's going down here. Cannon barrage onto the top side, closing up the ramp. 2 down already. Beyond Gaming are losing members left and right. Double kill for Hanabi. They're cleaning house with this composition. It's going to be a straight ace. It looked dicey for a moment, but PSG come to play with their vision advantage. They secure everything.
Welcome to the series, PSG. With the extra gold advantage, this does look like it's done and dusted. They'll get themselves that third dragon, they'll get themselves that top tower, and they will get themselves the clean ace. It's a 6-1-5 gory, but more importantly, now Hanabi is online. We'll get to see the replay. The engage comes in onto Minji, but he's so far away from the rest of his team. Even with the flash, it's not going to do him any good. And because of the collapse of the various fight lines, there's no safe front to back angle for Wako as Hanabi just walks up and pistols him to the face.
That was beautiful from Bernie as well. He manages to nail down Wako on one of these ramps here, and looks like Benny's looking for the ban picks for next game. If I'm being completely honest, it's like, what other mid laner can I play in this situation? We are going to get a bit of a scuffle here. It feels like PSG are just dotting their I's, crossing their T's, taking this to a potential game 4. And Beyond Gaming now massively on the back foot, 12,000 gold behind. I still can't remember a Weaver's Wall this game. Has there been a Weaver's Wall? It's been a 26-minute no Weaver's Wall for Leo, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen one.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because in the last fight, he got CC'd. So he definitely didn't have time to channel an ultimate. And he was in mid lane the entire game. So...
Okay. Yep.
Uh-huh.
We'll see what Beyond Gaming can do. PSG, you know, they could take this really slow, or they could pick up the pace a little bit. I feel like with the 12k gold lead, you can definitely go for a Baron. Yeah, that's definitely okay.
This really isn't a flip. This
or
is
you can
a
just
90-10.
go over the wall and chase people down.
Guys, this is a 90-10. This is exactly the fight that you guys like to have.
Wako gonna get hit up by the Death's Daughter. A lot of damage going
ultimate
through.
burn, though.
PSG are gonna try and get the fight. They're going for the fight win. They're not looking for running around a Baron anymore.
Sides.
Lika still trying to fight out here a little bit. Minji gets a massive knock, but he gets taken back all the way to face. Now they're on top of Wako. Kino already low health. PSG trying to chase him down, and Beyond Gaming are on the wrong side of the map. Where can they go with this one? Minji's gonna find himself back, but there's a lot of blinking HP bars, and look at the ultimate going down onto the Kino.
Oh, we were
nowhere to go in. Whoa, they isolate Hanabi. Hanabi goes in. He finds the kill onto Wako, but he is going to fall himself afterwards, and this is now back into the fight. And Beyond Gaming, they survive. It's even. It's an even match. 26-minute Weaver's Wall does it.
Yeah, I mean, it actually comes off the back of a Weaver's Wall. That is what's so ridiculous, because that was the perfect ult, because it cuts off Hanabi from his team, and he also gets to regroup with his team in the perfect position. They get a big shutdown onto this gangplank, but it doesn't change the fact that it is still an 11,000 gold lead. They need multiple of those in order to actually make a statement back into the game.
On PSG, I think they should feel confident about just going for this again. They have a massive gold lead. It didn't work the first time, but, you know, chances are, more times than not, it is going to work. Corey is completely in spotty. He might be able to snipe out Wako.
Finish.
Nope. Ooh, doesn't land a charm either, and let's see if Lucia makes his way into the pit. It's only 2k HP on top of the Baron pit. Corey is going to try and chase the monkey away, but the Baron actually resets!
No!
What? No! Corey was already doing the job for you! Oh no, they get the charm and
they got Minji. They got Minji
down. Minji is going to fall after he throws some damage, but Wako is so close to death. Surely PSG just turn around. This is definitely going to be safe enough. Navi might even be looking for an angle onto a double objective take at the same time.
Baron. Go back to the Baron. Just take the Baron.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Please.
It's okay. You're safe, PSG. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Husha's gonna get one shot if he gets too close to this one.
Yeah, he has Flash, he has Smite. He has Dash. So
Wako inching in.
Happen,
Looks like
but...
they're a little bit too late onto this one, and Furry secures it. Plus gets the kill onto Husha. So that means there will be no jungler for this Mountain Soul, and that's going to be a very easy pickup here for PSG.
Alright. Surely, this game is now done and dusted. Gory will also get this bot lane tower. There was definitely an opportunity offered, but Husha. But PSG, 2 on task. And now they'll also secure themselves this Mountain Soul. And with Mountain Soul, there's just not enough damage on the side of BYG at this point in the game. Down 14k gold that they can get back. Like it's actually...
That's an item across every single member. And plus they're playing against a Baron. Plus they're playing against a triple Mountain Soul. So, nah, it's so hard. Like, we've seen the biggest problem here for Beyond Gaming is they just don't have the damage. The damage difference is way too much. Furry is unkillable in the front line. They can barely scratch Navi at this point. And then Gory just has infinite resets when it comes into the back. They're shredding through this tower into the bot side. Husha looking for a potential flank on the left side, but not going to find it. This tower will go down. Looks like PSG are going to step up for the inhibitor next. Hanabi trying to ward off the monkey, but doesn't even look like Husha is going to find a chance to go in here. The front line's so strong from PSG.
Husha, they have an idea of where Husha is too, because of that ward right outside the entrance. So really creative warding coming in from PSG allows them to walk away and still reset the situation, I suppose. Still plenty of time, although only a minute left on their Baron club. Thankfully though, you know, still 5 minutes until the Elder Dragon, so I expect them to be able to finish this game before that Elder spawns.
Beyond Gaming right now, they should be trying to funnel all of their gold onto Wako. Get in that IE. That's kind of their only potential chance of winning this one.
Yep.
Still incredibly
Have
difficult.
the ricochet, the dream bounce.
They're going for Wako, but great spell shield coming in there on the side. League already has to go back to Fountain after taking a full rotation from Gory. Husha looks for an angle, thinks better about it, and just keeps his distance. Gory might be looking to chase him down. Kywin going for the hunt as well. He doesn't have the solar flare here, so we'll take a bit more distance to catch up to the monkey here. And where are you going, Husha?
He's on an adventure.
I'm not sure he can get away from this one. Takes a bit of damage from Unify. Unify's not giving up this chasing. We actually have a Weaver wall. Husha.
Distraction.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Alright, that's the game.
Yep. That's 3
We've
down.
done it.
Only 2 left here. League guy running for his life. He is going to stay alive for now, but the base is wide open. 5 members for PSG.
Super's minions are in.
15,000 gold lead. And Gory doesn't mind taking 2 towers to kill Wako. Wako says, "What are you doing?"
Wait.
And Gory
Unified says
throws in the thumbs up. That was the bait. A kind of anticlimactic end, but I'm happy that we get another game between these 2 excellent squads. PSG find their first strike.
Actually, finally get back into the series. Welcome to the playoffs. This feels like this should have been the form from the get-go. Drafting more scaling top laners for Hanabi. This time around, he gets himself the gangplank. He shows up massive, but more importantly, Gory gets first blood. And he's able to follow it up with a triple kill. And from that point